Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Capricorn. If Capricorn is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. All right. Let's see, what do we have tonight in these cards? I mean cards, in these tea leaves? You can tell I'm already close to bedtime, huh? Okay. I'm so quiet because I'm kind of really just trying to take these all in. Okay. Okay, so let's start here. First we'll go with a card. Okay, this is from the Jungian Tarot, and this is the Judgment card. If you watch any of my other readings, you will know, and I'm sorry about my cat, she's over there scratching. If you watch any of my other readings, usually I use the Thoth deck. Okay, but and so that's what I've kind of learned through, and so I will also use, even though this is not the Thoth deck, I will use some of the meaning of the Thoth deck. And in that system, this would be the Aeon card. Okay, so this is very much a card of, well, judgment, but transformation, birth and rebirth, becoming aware of deeper and hidden meanings. Okay, and we know to be judged or to judge, or a general kind of collective judgment happening, this can be kind of startling. This can be difficult. This can be really kind of jarring, right? So we'll keep that in mind. All right. So I want to look at this. It looks like a boat. And it has a person, or it looks like some kind of animal. To me, immediately, I imagine, and these are mixed mythologies, right? We have Anubis, the jackal-headed psychopomp deity from the Egyptian pantheon, and then we have this boat, kind of the fairy of the underworld, the Styx, and kind of crossing over into this this other place, this place of where, through death, of course, you are stripped down of everything. There's maybe love is an equalizer, similar to death, but death is the ultimate equalizer of all things, right? Everybody comes into life with, just themselves, with their body, right? And then as we leave with our soul, or our consciousness, maybe. I don't know. But everything that we obtained, that we achieved, that was given to us, that, you know, our position, our abilities, all these things are kind of just washed away. Okay. And so it's an interesting, with this judgment, and again, with going into the underworld, we know that in the Egyptian mythos, there is the weighing of the soul, the judgment of how one has led their life, how, you know, how pure to their will have they been, how have they treated others, and so on. So for me, I believe, I'm not saying that you're going to die. This is not what that's about. But I do believe what is happening is something akin to maybe a death of ego, death of the current self or the previous self. Okay, you're going through a large transition. I believe likely you are going through an awakening. And I think this relates to kind of becoming aware with those deeper and hidden meanings, okay? Kind of, you know, the illusionary things or thing kind of falling away and really catching a clear glimpse of what is beneath, okay? And that when that begins to happen, if it happens in one situation or scenario, ordeal, or if this is the beginning of kind of the domino effect, or you're somewhere in the line of dominoes, it can be very jolting. It can be very difficult, very, very difficult. And I'm sorry. This cat, she really runs my world to some degree. And okay. There will be a little spice there. I had to get the cat. I had to shut the door on her. She just has, I've been trying to let her roam a little bit more when I do my readings, but she just gets really in the way. And then we'll start knocking things and, you know, it gets a little out of hand. So anyhow, we're talking about this awakening that is happening. And as you are breaking these illusions, right, there are a lot of shifting energies, shifting forms, a lot of movement. And during, you know, as kind of your current paradigm starts to shift, you know, what comes inevitably from that is a new understanding, of course. And I want to say this in a way that makes sense. So when we begin to realize something is not as we thought it was, our perception is shattered or shifts, or we gain different perspectives. I think it is kind of a common and instinctual thing that happens where we almost kind of demonize what we thought something was, and it is not. We can place blame on other people or other things, that we've been tricked, that, you know, we've been controlled, or, you know, whatever it is. Somebody has spun an illusion for us. And to some degree, maybe that is true. I think that it can be really a disservice to our work if we get too caught up in this. Unless, of course, we're talking about something like, I mean, in a very direct situation where somebody is literally, gaslighting you or abuse, using emotional fear, whatever, lying to you, to create like a false perception of a situation. And that's completely not what I'm talking about exactly here. So, but what I am talking about is just kind of in a larger sense, especially in a spiritual sense, and having to do with our base reality, and starting to really see the fractures in our collective consciousness, or how we experience this kind of base reality, this collective psychosis or collective hallucination that we kind of share. I think it's easy to really become angry with the powers that be, or, whatever kind of system or we're operating in. And, but I think it can be a disservice to do too much of that. Only because I think that, well, it kind of propagates fear within yourself. And it can really become where you are adverse to a lot of things, right? And I think it really kind of limits how we live, how we, kind of travel through life on our journey. But also there's, dwelling in that anger that is out of our control. We also have to take responsibility for, to some degree, right? This is like really to some degree. This is like way lower case. But we have to take responsibility for how we continued to exist, right? With our limited understanding, and not get so muddled by the anger of living in an illusion, but letting it go. Okay. And this is kind of, it's difficult. I understand. I mean, really, I understand. When I was in my late teens, early 20s, I was super into a kind of subculture called synchromysticism, and kind of conspiracy culture, but it was not. I mean, this was like the beginnings of, like, well, I don't want to mention any names. Okay. I'm not going to bring any of that stuff up, but, obviously conspiracy culture has been around forever, but, the kind of modern iteration that's still going right now. But it's been kind of back in the day now for me. So, I get it. And I was definitely angry and scared a lot of the time when I was getting into these things, like deep into it. And that's fine. I get it. I understand the draw to it, but it also is very distractive from doing, important self-work, I believe. We have to be, we need to be informed, right? It's good to have the knowledge, but we cannot let it enslave us mentally, because it's really just continuing to function as it was before. It's just that we know on this other side of it, right? So I think it's, it's important to really take the time and stop and notice how you are feeling as you are going through these awakenings. Now, I want to look at this, and I know I've been going on, but I want to look at this. It looks like a mirror, and I see, or a portal of some kind, a portal or a porta or doorway, gateway. It looks like the boat's kind of really just going straight into there, right? And I really feel like This is very much a big initiation happening for you. Okay. It feels very important, very immediate, very much on your mind. Okay. And I feel like you even want to tell people things and share information, and that's wonderful. Because of how our culture is now, I don't want you to get disheartened when people are not receptive to it, because there's just really this very pessimistic kind of cynical undertone we all have kind of now. We just kind of poo-poo things. But that doesn't make it any less important or real for you, okay? Everybody's at a different place as well. You have to remember that. But I think it's so important for you to really stop and notice how you are feeling. Look into that reflective, surface. Really think about how are these things changing you? How are they impacting you? Right? Try and focus on being observant about how it kind of ripples out into all other things in your life. How you have kind of been conditioned. Does this change other parts or beliefs that you have? And what does that mean for you? What do you think that looks like? But I want you to try to, and it's not to look at it from an unemotional place, but a place that's detached enough so you don't succumb to being swept away in terror, anger, sadness. Okay? Because this kind of work, whatever context it is, if it is kind of awakening to the ailments of the collective world, if it is finding out about corruptions, or if it's about finding parts of yourself that are hard to look at, that are, the illusion that's been protecting them is falling away, and you're experiencing these things directly for the first time, it's important to protect yourself, to not get lost. A lot of people, a lot of amazing, intelligent, true and honorable and authentic people have gotten lost along the way, spiraled so far out of any kind of, we've all known people, right, that, and it's even come into mainstream culture now, in the last 5 years. It's really it used to just be, kind of, the odd uncle, or, the ranting family member or whatever. But now it's like a lot of different people are really awakening to different kinds of things, but some of them are getting just so lost in it because they don't have a foundation to keep them kind of tethered to any kind of reality. And so I think it's really important that you do so. I want to look at this one, and it looks like a person kind of pointing, right? They're kind of standing here pointing. And what are they pointing at? I'm seeing these two, it looks like they're pointing at these two birds up here. Okay, and the birds are kind of over this ferry, the ship we were talking about. And I really think that this is spirit. Okay, in this situation, we have spirit really surrounding you, with you. I think that this is very, you know, very close to you. I feel that you're in communication with the universe very directly in these times. You know, again, I think that it's so important to trust your intuitions, try to stay grounded. I think it's important to really focus on, I know we all want to, like, when we find out things are not as we thought, we want to change something, we want to fix it, right? But I think in these first initial steps, it's really important to, you know, just really take care to see how you are doing. To, if you can, continue on, right? Go deeper. But I think it's important to really just maintain your routines. Make sure that you're sleeping well, you're eating well, you're going outside, getting fresh air, intentional movement. These are things I talk about in a lot of my readings. Staying grounded, checking in with people. Okay, not getting fixated on certain one, two, three things constantly. That's all you're thinking about. That's all you're researching. That's all you're talking about, you know, all the time. It's okay to be super interested. It's okay to be very passionate. But again, this can begin to spiral. You lose focus of life and, you know, not taking care of things that need to be, and let's just face it, I wish that we could all just, you know, not have to pay our bills, not take care of, you know, the regular things that we have to do, the tedium of life, and we could just all focus on, you know, our intellectual, spiritual pursuits, creative pursuits. But that's just not how it works, unfortunately. And so we must take care of ourselves. Okay. And actually, I wanted to look at this one too. It looks like a person that's wearing maybe a dress or a robe. They're kind of almost, I would say they're almost kind of gliding, dancing, kind of going, skipping, jumping, or not jumping, running through a field. The hair looks like it's in movement. And I feel that, well, let's see. Yeah, and I feel that this is kind of maybe a dog that is with them, okay? So I feel like a really strong sense of loyalty happening here. I feel that truly that if you are able to experience these awakenings, which are brutal in some ways, if you can try to stay in the mindset that this is a blessing, you know, the veneer is, the mask, the veil, whatever you want to call it, is being stripped away. It's falling off. It's, you know, it's not as it was. It's not, you know, this is a chance for you to exist in a different way, because the environment, the world, the context, whatever that you thought you were existing in is not real, okay? Or it's not as you thought it was. So this really kind of allots you a little room to do some real shift and change in how you're existing. And it's silly because we shouldn't have to have, you know, these awakenings necessarily, realizations to be like, okay, I'm really, now I'm changing my life because this is like, or I'm doing this other thing because now I realize this is all phony. But this really often is the catalyst for a lot of people to completely go with what they have been wanting to do with their life, or what they have instinctually been feeling they should do with their life. And I think that this could be a really big blessing for you to begin kind of planning the next stages of what you want to do, and to be really open and honest with yourself that like, okay, these things I've been dreaming of for like so long, or these ideas that I've had, these like maybe even things that have come up in dreams, these anxieties, or you know, I've had kind of scenarios come up where I, you know, whatever it is, like I just kind of, you know, it happened in my dream and I woke up and I thought about it and then I moved on with my life. Well, now the world is different than you thought it was. Okay. And now some of these things are starting to mean a lot more than you thought they did. And this might be just the blessing you've been waiting for. Okay. For that transformation. Okay. That rebirth, that space to become something other than you were. Okay. And to just, you know, rid yourself of the chains of our own self-identities and our own, you know, perceptions that we cling to. And I think this is, for me, this is why I personally am, I would say, not necessarily in practice all the time, maybe a little bit privately, but I am very much an absurdist. I am a lover of the absurd. And it's because so many traumatizing things have happened in my life directly, but also because my life has changed drastically and abruptly more than once, out of my control. I have been in situations that I thought this is like very solid, and this is very, this is what the world is. This is what I believe right now, you know, and believe in with my heart, and has been crumbled, you know, in my hands to my feet, you know, and so the attachment, I would, you know, necessarily didn't have the option to really cling to it. So I know what it is to like give up and walk away from things, like my beliefs, my perceptions, my understandings of the world and reality. And of course, you know, we get back into lulls throughout our life. It happens over and over and again. And that's just kind of the nature of being. That's part of the work, right? But you know, it's difficult, it's hard, and I feel lucky because of the things I've been through and the way that I think just maybe the energy I put off, or the things that I discuss with people. I'm definitely like a person that you meet, and I try to accommodate like the small talk, but I'm also like that weird person that just like starts talking about really, you know, just hard things, death, and you know, grief, depression, whatever, with just like basically strangers. And so I feel that I have had the privilege to have people talk to me pretty openly about their own awakening processes, the pain that they're going through, the things that have happened that have led up to them. And I never really have experienced anybody who, you know, wasn't, it's painful. It's just painful, period. It's like being born, right? It really is, you know. It's a beautiful, magnificent experience, initiation, rite of passage, literally through the portal into life. But it is painful for, you know, both the vessel and the birther and the birthed, and so it makes sense that when we come to these places where we're just kind of pushed through, it's painful, you know, but it's a blessing as well, because we get to make what we want of it. We're given raw material again, because we're jolted out of our lull, and we're given our raw material, and we get to make a life of it. We get to make decisions that maybe we weren't brave enough to make it before, but now we are, because we're not living an accommodated life in that moment, right? And so, you know, I know it's hard, and Capricorn, if anybody is going to make it through some of these rough feelings, it's you. and me, you know. I'm a Capricorn risings or ascendant. So, yeah, I feel like this is a good reading for me as well. And, you know, very powerful people, Capricorns, very just really go head first into face first, head first, whatever it is, really able to look that that mystery, that abyss right in the eye, and keep going, you know. And so I think that this will be something very beautiful for you ultimately. Hopefully, you know, whatever the catalyst is for this awakening isn't something too painful. That's my hope. Now let's see. Let's look here. So I feel very much that you're going to be kind of at this crossroads coming up, okay? There's you know, definitely the crossroads, but literally, quite literally, I think that something with crossing streets, or where two streets cross. And now, if you are comfortable doing ritual in person, in the physical, or visualization, I do both, but it's just as well visualizing your, you know, your practice, your the ritual that you want to perform. So I think I have quite an obsession with the crossroads, with especially these statues that were called Herma, that were markers of the crossroads. They were, and you can look them up. They were important to soldiers in foreign lands. They were never destroyed, even if a place, a country or province or whatever became occupied. The crossroads are for everybody, right? There's no status at these places. We all are just souls traveling, right? And so I think it's important to leave offerings at a notable crossroad for you. If that's maybe a place next to where you live, okay, or a place that you like to visit, go to on walks, or somewhere you like to drive, or if this is a place that is in your interior landscape, in the astral, or whatever you want to call it. I think it's important to sometimes go to these places and, you know, leave some kind of gift to honor, especially for safe travels. You are very much on an active path right now. So this is important to you. You are also coming to a place where a lot of maybe emotional or difficult decisions will be made about the larger picture of your life. And so it is important to honor these intelligences, elementals, deities that oversee the crossroads. And you can go ahead and look up what those are, or if you have a personal affiliated kind of deity or elemental or whatever. But yeah, so I think going out and leaving something, you know, dried herbs. I like to leave knots. I talk about it sometimes in other readings. I'm really into tying prayers and leaving them places. So, also maybe, you know, leaving fruits and vegetables, but you have to be careful with the animal life if you're doing it in person or whatever. So just be mindful. Yeah, so that's my reading for you tonight. I thank you so much, Capricorn. That went longer than I expected. Whew. And I'm just going to get that right on there. Thank you so much. I'm always so honored to bring these messages to you. If you'd be so kind as to like the video, it helps me get into the algorithm and helps us grow the channel. If you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos come out. And if you want to leave a comment, please do. Please do. I love reading them. Most of you are so, so nice, and I appreciate the encouragement and the love and good vibes. All right. I thank you, and we'll talk again very soon.